Hey everyone, looks like we are live. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Wednesday. We made it to yet another week. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for coming out on this Wednesday to hang out with me. I really appreciate it. So we have Roy. How's it going, sir? All the way from New Jersey. We have Dan from Indianapolis. How are you, Dan? We have just Dan and Roy, so that's good. So I'm so glad you guys are here. Definitely glad you guys are here. And I'm just waiting for some tea. And so when I hear the thing, so here is my wet palette. And I want to go ahead and show you how I kind of put the paper on. This is Everlasting Wet Palette paper. And so it's really, Michael, how's it going? Great to see you. I can't wait to see how Farah is, what you're going to be doing with her. She's looking amazing already. So I'm just going to take this aside here. Make sure I only have one sheet. And see if it's wet enough. Sometimes it's not wet enough. But I think we hit a sweet spot here. And we want to get rid of all the air bubbles. Well, as much as you can. There we go. That's looking nice. We're going to do some airbrush. We're going to do some wet palette today. Hey, Gary, how's it going? Great to see you all the way from Hershey, PA. How are you, sir? I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. That is great. And did I hear correctly? You won something on Steve's live stream yesterday? That's amazing. Mr. Dwayne San Luis de Obispo. How are you, sir? Go Mustangs, not banana slugs. And we have Mr. Steve Leahy, all the way from Ohio. How's it going? Great to see you. As you can see, this is familiar for you, Mr. Leahy, getting rid of all the air bubbles, right, on the wet palette. We'll see how it goes. I may have to re-wet it. I don't know if I put enough water down there, but we'll see, right? We definitely will find out one way or another. And I have this brush and I have some other brushes. Let me get the magnets out of the way. So we're just going to revisit this painting. I haven't worked on her in a while. I thought it would be really cool. So that's great. They call him Mr. Steve Leahy Grandpa. That's cool. Congratulations again. That's a wonderful blessing. Definitely. Okay, there she is, our young lady. And we'll come over here. So I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing today. We're just going to assess the situation to see what we can do. I'm thinking, let's see if we could work on the highlight of this pole here. And we're going to try it with the airbrush paints, right? So let's do that. And I am going to take some illustration colors here. And I'm actually going to take a look and see if that's actually white, or maybe it's a dull color, right? We just don't know. Let's see. We're going to open up my programs here. And so that's great. Patty, how are you all the way from Illinois? How are you feeling? I'm so glad you're here. That is so excellent. Thank you so much for hanging out. It's always great to see you. Thank you for the well wishes. I appreciate that immensely. Here we go. Okay, so looking at this poll, it's a little more complicated than I think it is, and so I'm going to start with this light color coming right down here. And is it white? That's the question. It's pretty darn close to white. So I am going to do something that Mr. Leahy showed on Monday's live streams. Just to let you know how important it is to check out Steve Leahy's live streams. They're mondo important. Let me see. I don't have anything left. It's over. Okay, let's see. I am going to use a different white. Let's see. I have plenty of white here somewhere. Oh, not this one. This one's open right here. And if it's super thick, it's okay when you're working, you know, with the brush, you know. And very cool. Okay, so there is our white. And we are going to get our brush. I have other brushes over here, and I have some water. Got some nice brand new brushes over here. Got to keep them away from my oil brushes. And, oh, thank you, Patty. That's great. I appreciate that so much. And let's go ahead and do this. Now, Mr. Leahy had this great idea, not an idea, a technique, right? Is that he puts this here and you make straight lines. And I am going to test it first because you always want your maiden voyage. Let's see. Let's see how this goes. I'll move this aside. And so the way that he did it was that he rested his brush against this and kind of brought it down in a straight line like that. Let's see if I can repeat that. So he, if I'm not mistaken, went right like this and then just brought that down like so. And let's see how it goes, right? And as Steve says, what could go wrong, right? Mr. Bobby, how's it going, my friend? Great to see you. JC, how are you? Bobby from Cape Cod, JC from the Atlanta area. Great to see you guys. Just so you get in there. And I'm gonna try Steve Leahy's technique. Dun dun dun. Let's see. I'm going to start it off. Then we'll bring it down. Bring it downtown. There we go. That looks pretty good, huh? 3 cheers for Mr. Steve Leahy. Look at this, guys. Just wipe this off. You don't want to reposition paint on her leg. Look at that. That's not bad, right, guys? Not bad at all. And there's a light on this side, and I'm going to start it out. Let's see if I missed anybody. Nope, great group of people today. So someone, oh, cool. Okay. Bring this light here on this side. And let's just do some maneuvering. Right here. There you go. Little light there. That's a little too powerful. So what I'm going to do is just gonna dab it. Oh man, Gary, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. I really appreciate that. Thank you, sir. That really helps me out immensely. Mr. Michael, thank you so much, you guys. I'm really, really appreciating the support and you know, and your friendship, guys. It just means so much. Michael and Gary, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So when I was doing this live stream, I was like, let me do something that I don't feel like doing, that maybe maybe our group would like. So just kind of taking this to the next level and going from there. And also me getting out of my comfort zone. Oh my God, Mr. Dave, thank you so much for the incredible super chat. Thank you so much, guys. I have your inks and everything all ready. They should be shipped out soon. Mr. Dave, plus I'm going to give you a really good gift. And as far as Michael, I'm still waiting from Ken. He's on a convention, so once he gets back, I'll be able to put your airbrush together, sir. So you guys are amazing. Thank you so much, Gary. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Dave. I really appreciate you all immensely. I just want you to know that. You all are a godsend. I mean it really, really great. And thank you, JC. I appreciate you. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I miss our classes together, JC. We just got to get together online for old time's sake. Talk about airbrushing. And so true. Oh, I got something special for you, Dave. It's going to be great. I was kind of out of it with the sickness for a while, but I'm feeling 100%. You inspired me to, of course, you know, you made an order, but I want to show you the inks that I did make. And so these are all the inks and your orders in here. And just thank you so much. And oh, that's great. Oh, thank you, JC. I appreciate that. And you know, when it comes to like the lights of the pole, you know, it's chrome, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Well, at least in my world, it doesn't. I'm going to do the same with the pole back there. Thanks, Dave. Thank you so much. How's life in Texas, sir? Oh, the new compressor comes. Which one is it? I can't wait to hear. What brand did you end up getting? There we go. And it's starting to get that nice metallic feel. This brush is really kind of screwy. I'm going to get another brush. Little screwy. Let's see what this, oh, this one's better. And, oh, always better in Texas, huh? Oh, that's cool. Never been to Texas. I gotta go. But getting that straight line with Mr. Leahy's technique was really helpful. Thank you, sir. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with a darker gray, like a dark gray. And make sure I don't use rags from last night's oil painting session, because I found out the hard way. If you get oil and water, it doesn't mix like salad dressing, Italian salad dressing, right? So cool. So I can't wait to hear what kind of compressor you got, sir. Now, you know, any compressor is good as long as it's not those little motor ones, you know. That's pretty interesting. That looks like a gray. So I'm going to take a gray here. Definitely is not as hot as Texas here in Maryland. Wow, yes. There we go. We have a nice gray. And I go by my color wheel, and it's probably like a number 8 gray. Have you all ever worked with the Lifeline colors? I would love to hear what you think about the Lifeline colors. JC said, neglected a bathroom renovation. He's enjoying, is enjoying, it's almost, so you're doing a bathroom. That's cool. And it's almost enjoyable as airbrushing. Dave says, the Silent Air 30T. I have the Silent Air. I have the Silent Air 50. The Silent Air is incredible. You're going to love it. It is really amazing. Super fantastic. So now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in with this dark gray. So Michael, how do you like your wet palette? Let me know some of the stories you have with the wet palette. There's not many of us who have one, so I love to hear what you have to say. See, this is really going to give it that kind of metallic feeling. Go, Mr. Leahy. Look at that. That looks pretty good. But it's a little thin. So we'll just thicken it up. So going back to the story, I wanted to do something that was outside of my comfort zone that you all would enjoy a lot, you know? So I know, you know, finishing up a painting is always enjoyable. I love when we get to the finishing part of the painting. Sometimes you just don't know where to go, you know, so doing it live is a little bit scary. And Dave said, figures you needed a quieter compressor in the trailer and heard good things from the others in the group. Oh yeah, just super wonderful. Dave says, excited to get Flinging Ink. Oh man, you're gonna love it. I'm gonna send you some reduced white mixture, so you don't have to worry about doing that with the when you use the white. It's going to be pre-mixed for you. Just shake it up really good when it arrives. See, now we have a metallic pole here. and we're going to come in and make sure that we just make everything neat at this point, right? Oh, the Dirty TC, nice. A popular, very popular uh, compressor. The thing is with the silent airs, they're expensive, but they last a long time. I went through 4 California Air Tools in approximately 10 years. And so that's rough, you know. And I have my uh, Silent Air since 2020, so that's 4 years now. So it is definitely worth the money. But who has the money at that big chunk all the time, right? Not many people. So I definitely feel your pain. So that is there, and now we're going to uh, work on this right here. We'll have the edge coming straight, kind of catching the light there. Mr. Mark, how's it going from Canada? Great to see you. How you doing, sir? So glad you're here. All right, Mark. And so I see it takes me a while, but I remember where you all are from. I know it took, I don't know why, it took me a long time to remember Gary's from around Hershey, PA. So, sir, how far are you from York, PA? Um, I went to York, and I really just loved the people there. They were really sweet, and the women were really, really nice. Maybe it was my New York accent that kind of made them nicer to me. There we go. So doing that Steve Leahy thing. And Mr. Mark says he's doing just fine. He's impressed that I remember where you're from. Oh, definitely. I don't think I'm going to forget now. Once my mind gets a hold of it, I hold on to it. So that's great. And oh, Gary says that he's going to be in, Dave says he's going to be in Gary's neck of the woods next weekend, getting back to see the wife and children, heading to Hershey Park next Saturday. That is great. Oh, yes, I do. An elephant memory. That's so true. Hey, old rude, crude art dude, how's it going? So great to see you. How have you been, sir? Always a pleasure. We talk a lot on Facebook and everything, so it's always great to see you on Facebook, but it's really excellent to see you on the live stream, my friend. So glad you're here. Now, sir, where are you from? I'm just thinking like Oklahoma or something. You know, Midwest like Nevada. I mean the Southwest like Nevada or something like that. Am I right? Let me hear, sir. So with this painting, what I'm doing is kind of just cleaning up some edges here, and then make some big decisions later. Arizona, not bad, right? Not bad. Okay. So I heard something last night on the news that Prescott in Arizona, we people who are not from Arizona say Prescott, but people from Arizona say Prescott. Is that true, old rude crude art dude? Uh, so Prescott, is that how you say it? Because it's funny, you know. I love hearing the little quirkiness that we all have from different parts of the country in Canada. And it's just so great, you know. Love hearing where you guys are all from, guys and girls. Just, you know, there's a lot of JC says he reckons. Michael says, you all talk about air compressors, and I have not been using an air compressor. He's been using the Iwata Silverjet. It's been working. Oh, that's great. Hey, whatever works, man, right? That's for sure. Well, Steve is, how did LL Cool J say? I'm coming, so something about, I'm going back to Cali. I'm going back to Cali. And maybe that's one day, you know, Mr. Leahy going back to Mass. His version of LL Cool J's song. Both Prescott and Prescott. Oh, they just, both of them say that. Okay, cool. I know in Florida, I lived there for a while, and we always knew when someone didn't live there because they always said Kissimmee. But it was Kissimmee. So we always knew the tourists, they kind of telegraphed themselves. You know, says, oh, I'm staying in Kissimmee. And I'm like, oh, where are you from, you know? Close to where the Who's are from. That's cool. JC says guilty. So cool. I have a compressor in storage. I have a 6-gallon, like a backup, a 6-gallon California Air Tools. And we'll see how that goes. Now we have a light on this pole back here, and we'll see how this goes. You know what I'll do? We'll use the magnets. That would work. Well, seemingly would work. Oh, you said Kissimmee. Kissimmee. Ah, that's funny. Oh, great. You're going back to school. What are you studying, sir? That's so cool. Yeah, I really love living in Florida. You know, I really did love it. Okay. There we go. Just let's get rid of me. We don't need to be looking at me. There we go. Okay, we'll zoom out a little bit. So I'm doing this pole back here. And we're going to do some other poles. Took a watercolor last semester, taking watercolor 2 and oil 1. Oh man, that's great. Yeah. JC went south and I went north. Yes, that's so true. You went to from Chicago to Atlanta, and I went from Florida to New York. So true. Opposite directions, huh, sir? Let's pull this up. Bring this down. And Patty says, Tim, have a wonderful rest of the night. Take care. Take care, Patty. It's great to see you. Always a pleasure. Don't work too hard, okay? And yes, I went over yonder, JC. And that's cool. Everyone wishing Patty a great night. She's amazing. There we go. And we're just kind of establishing these shapes. We can get a little more refined later. That's okay, no problem. And let's work down here. And you know, when you put work into it, it's always going to pay off, right? It's always going to pay off. And let's hit this light down here. We want to keep the dark edge, right, as much as possible. So I'm using the illustration white 50/50. Go. Things are starting to look like they're going back into space, right? And since I have this light color, let's see if we could paint the top of her socks that are just peeking outside her boots. Is that palette the same as the one Leahy has? Steve, yes, he has the larger one. I have the wet palette light, and it's smaller. It doesn't have the bells and whistles that Steve has, but it's basically the same thing. And Steve really, really got me interested in this when he was using it on his live streams, and I was like, I have to get it. And Mr. McGlung has it, which is great. I really recommend it. I think you would really seriously love this, JC. I think it's like $25 on eBay. But the thing is, when you're working in acrylics, when I close this, this will stay wet for a week. I don't have to worry about it drying. And, that's what Steve said, so I took his word for it and purchased it with my Amazon money. And I was very, 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 very pleased with that. Oh, and Michael loves it. It does work great, doesn't it? So ironic. Leahy does micro paintings. Yes, that's true. Art Dude, sorry you have to go, but it's great to see you. And so take care. I hope I see some of your artwork from your watercolor class and also from your oil painting 1 class in the future. And thanks so much for stopping by. I really appreciate you. So Mr. Art Dude all the way from Arizona. So that is great. It's great to see you. I think we're going to be using some of the Lifeline colors here. Yes, Steve Leahy likes big tools. And so that's cool. Everyone wishing Mr. Art Dude a great night. That is great. And let's see. So we just established that. Let's see if we can establish the light on the bottom here. Oh man, Dwayne, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. I really appreciate that. Thank you, sir. That is amazing. And thank you for all the wonderful super chats on the 31st, because that's like, that money comes on the 21st of the following month. So thank you guys for the wonderful super chats today, because I'll see that on the 21st. So I just want to say I appreciate you and thank you for your friendship. My friend from St. Luis de Obispo, you know, it's so great to hang out. Love your work. Just fantastic stuff. And I'm so glad to be, you know, back. This is my second week back. But it was rough. It was rough being away that 1 week. And oh, had some work call stuff. Oh man. Well, definitely you got to make the money because the bills don't wait, right, sir? I wish they would wait. And so cool. Oh, so Dave says 3 weeks. I'm sorry, 3 weeks. I didn't get what part of 3 weeks, Dave. I'm a little slow sometimes. Looking forward to slow down a bit. Oh, okay. I think you're mentioning about Dwayne, right, Dave? I'm pretty sure. And I want to paint her beautiful upper lip, and we're going to use your favorite line of color and mine, the Lifeline by Createx Illustration. And I want to use, they have this wonderful color called Lip, and what better to use on a lip than a color called Lip. So I have to find it. And I have my Lifeline colors here. So we have Light Espresso, we have Blush, Deep Blush. Deep Blush I may use for the lower lip. That's cool, okay. And so it looks like the color I'm looking for is going to be the last bottle I touch. Natural olive. Here we go. Nope, that's blush. You know what? That might be the one color that's still in the drawer. We'll be right back. Well, I'll be over here just looking for that. Let's see. Here are my Lifeline colors. I know they're here. Let's see. Okay, not in this drawer. Not in that drawer. Okay, so they seem to be eluding me, but I am determined. And you know what? It's probably behind something. That's usually what happens. Okay, I see I don't have any Lifeline colors on my desk. Espresso. I hate making the color when you know you have the color out of the bottle. You know, that kind of defeats the purpose. Let's see. Plus I wanted to show off the Lifeline colors today. Let's see. Oh man, Brad, how's it going? Thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. I really appreciate you. Thank you, sir. That is wonderful. I really appreciate your friendship and your support. and that really helps. And this is really fantastic right before the last Wednesday, so that is perfect. And Steve says, speaking of accents, he loves that. Tim says, drawer. No one out here knew what I was talking about. Drawer. How do they say? They go drawer. You know, we it's just one syllable for us, right? Oh, it's behind that thing. You know, that's probably it. I'm not giving up, you know. So Tim's live stream, how was it? He was looking for, you know, illustration lip color for half an hour. Let's see. I am going to grab every one of them, and we're going to just see. You know, it might be right in front of my head. We got blush, natural, blush, deep natural, olive gold. We have intrinsic shadow. That's not for us portrait painters. That's something because, you know, Tim Gore does the, you know, the modeling and the latex stuff, and so that's the one thing that's not for us. Over here, and let's see. It's not looking good. You know, could have been fallen. That's the question, right? It may have fallen behind and rolled into oblivion. And let's see. Okay. So far, you know what, Tim? Why don't you just mix the color, right? I don't want to mix the color. So let's see. I am just going to, I will be daunted in just, okay. If I was a color, where would I be hiding? I'll check inside the drawer. Maybe it fell in the drawer. And we'll check in here. No. And we have a whole tube of it, you know. So what we're going to do is we're going to paint her lip, but we're going to start with, we have blush, we have fair blush, and we're going to start with blush, right? We'll start with the blush here, and then we'll move these aside. So we tried, right? And it might be for our benefit that I don't have the color. Let's see. So let's see what I missed. Show off a bit, use the color method. Yes, but unable to use it just yet. I have deep blush, and I am going to, my friend, put some deep blush. And you see, that's not quite red enough, right? And now I'm going to get some beautiful red, you know, just this like real beautiful red. Let's go with deep scarlet with Wicked. Let's give this a shot here. There we go. And we're going to mix these two and see how it goes. Let's see. Michael says, I'll help you remember what state would that color be in. Oh, let's see. So I think I'm missing something. Still can't get it right, Brad. He still can't get the sudden drawl. Oh, okay. So someone's talking about the southern accent. And Dwayne says, everyone in the east of the Pacific talks funny. That's funny. And Michael says, here, Tim, I'll help you remember what state would the color be in. That's true, right? I'm pretty sure it's in Jersey. But then again, so this is going to be a pretty high chroma here. So I want to kill that chroma. Let's see how it goes. You know, the magnet gets in the way when you're working like this. Let me go ahead and put this next to it. Do this, guys, when you're working. Put the color next to it and see if that looks a little crazy. And that's always a good thing to do, you know? You don't want it to be crazy. Let's zoom in. And as you can see, I have some work to do on her pretty face. And you guys are all funny. We all talk funny to each other, but from, you know, us East Coasters, you know, like Mr. Leahy and I, you know, we barely see a difference between our accents. As far as Steve, you know, the only thing is he'll say stuff like wicked and stuff like that. But besides that, there's not much difference. Because we're pretty close regionally. Mr. Steve, have a great night, sir. Always a pleasure. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock, YouTube. Check out Steve Leahy's live stream. What are you working on tomorrow, Steve, before you go? Or is it a surprise? English folks are the only folks that can say Worcester. Yeah, you know, that's a funny thing, you know, how, you know, I'm at Worcester. I'm like, I have no idea where Worcester is. I'm looking on the, you know, looking, and I see Worcester, but I don't see Worcester. All us regions have our quirks, right? Yes, have a great day, Steve. Mr. Astral, how are you? So good to see you. Since Monday was the bus going to finish the Ford painting. Nice. Okay, so that's great. Finishing up. So watch how Mr. Steve kind of completes a painting. That's a priceless thing. So check him out tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And it looks a little funny because I have to come in with the lower lip, and so we'll just come in with this color, maybe lighten it up a little bit. Let's say Worcester. That is funny. That is so cool. Yeah, we all have our quirks, don't we, guys and girls? I remember when I went away to college, everyone was like, I can't believe how you talk. And I'm like, I talk normal. I talk normal around people like myself, you know, from Jersey and New York like me. And so when I moved to out in the Hamptons for college in the east end of Long Island, there were people from all over the country, and they were like laughing at my accent. And I'm like, I don't have an accent. And they kind of lump us all together, you know, Philadelphia, New York, Boston, you know. It's so funny. Yes, JC has no accent. That is so true. So I'm so glad to see everyone today. Thanks so much for hanging out. Thank you for the super chats. That is amazing. And as you can see, I'm just fixing her beautiful mouth here. And just watch your angles, right? It's very important, you know. JC doesn't poo. That's funny. And just make sure that we keep things clean. So working in different mediums, I work in oils, I work in airbrush, I work in uh, pastel. I borrow some techniques from each each medium, and that works out really well. So that's so cool. And I know Mr. Bradley is from Canada, and different parts of Canada speak differently. Is that true, Brad? Because we wouldn't notice it, but I know you would notice it, right? Like people from Ontario speak differently. You can definitely hear that, sir. And let's put some life into her here. Kind of doing a dry brush technique on her eyes here. So cool. And let's do this part of her eye here. And it's a little pinkish hue right here under her nose. Maybe cold out, just coming in from the cold and the subway system. And then I'm going to continue my working on the forms here a little bit. And there's never any rush finishing a painting, right? Never a rush. You always take your time, you know. Once you sign it, it's over forever. So take your time, relax, and enjoy the process, right? That's it. Just enjoy that process. And that's all you have to do. And it's a little bit lighter on the bottom here of her lip, but I'm going to give her a little bit of a bigger bottom lip here. Then we're going to see a little bit of her face right there. There, you see, gives her some more delicate features. Gary, have a great night. Thank you so much, my friend, for the super chat and the support and friendship. I hope you have a great week and weekend. And hopefully I'll see you on Steve's live streams during the week. So I really appreciate you, sir. And we'll come here. Painting is all connected. It's all fun, right? It's all working together. Unless there is a paycheck waiting for you at the end, then kick it out. JC said, DreadFX, aka Robbie. Yeah, he's a great artist. Where is he? Is he in the live stream? Now, what I'm going to do is this has a nice deep olive color, so I'm going to use that. Let's see. That I've seen, so we're going to be able to get that. We're looking for deep olive gold. It might be too dark, but we'll see. Let's come here. This is deep olive gold, and it looks different on the surface. So we'll wash this out. And of course, this is the Lifeline colors. And then we'll come in with the light olive gold, and that would work out really well. Light espresso, olive gold. Let's try olive gold right next to it. And maybe we can get a nice transition on her jawline. Let's see how this works, right? Put it in action. And let's see. Yeah, Dread FX has a very cool accent. Definitely cool. Okay, you see how we can kind of get a nice gradation because these colors are right next to each other. Maybe we can soften this up here. Keep our eyes on the prize here. And then we're going to get the light olive gold. Which is right next to it. And we're going to see if we can get a nice, beautiful transition. Now we may just airbrush it, but just seeing if we can actually do this using the lifeline colors. And just keep looking at our 1 second rule here. Very important. And now we'll come in with a light color. And that color would be, let's go with natural. And kind of soften this up. Maybe mix the two together. Get a nice blend. And we just want to make sure that we get this beautiful gradation. Okay, so now we're going to get our airbrush. I do have a color in the airbrush from yesterday. Let's see what's in here. See what we got. Kind of soften that up. Now it's always going to look lighter because what's happening is that it's wet, so it's going to look shiny at first. Well, we got a little too wet there. A little bit of spidering. But at this point, it doesn't really stick because you have so many layers of paint. Just making sure no paint is coming out. And let's see, Michael says, Tim, I mixed them all together. Lifeline illustration Wicked with the wet palette. Doesn't seem like it hurts it. Plus he has a 4011 close by. Yeah, that's great, definitely. So that's fantastic. How's your son doing in Japan, Mr. Astral? And JC says, nice west of Birmingham, Alabama. I mean UK. Awesome. JC says, nice. Did that get you to do any modeling? Cool. Astral says his accent is turning to what's known as Black Country accent. That's cool. What exactly did that come from? That's an interesting kind of distinction there. And we're going to kind of soften up her neck area here. There we go. When we zoom out, you can see we really softened up her head a little bit, so that was nice. And let's see here. We could work on her beautiful hand here. Let's see what, to make sure what we have. Okay. Just deepens, you know, and when I say deepen those values in the hand, I mean like, you know, really keeping those values super compressed. And, you know, you'll hear me say it, and my students hear me saying it like a broken record. But you want to keep from getting too you want to keep from getting too contrasty. Keep those values close. And you know, it's great. You can go back with the paintbrush. You know, you can come in with, you know, with the airbrush and come back in with the paintbrush. Kind of work back and forth. Just keep your, you know, your head in the game. And let's see what I missed. Michael says, yeah, Tim, he's looking forward to getting that paint gun. That will be 2 guns for you, and probably be ordering another one later. Oh, that's great. And I'll definitely make it worth the wait, sir. I'm so sorry. I'm kind of, you know, I can't get the parts as quickly. I do have the parts for the regular Extreme Patriot Arrow, but not the one for the 105. But I should have that shortly because the convention ends on the 4th, and that's when Ken can send me those parts. So I'll be calling him on the 4th. And Dave says he has a problem with going too much. Oh, yes. You know, and that's my whole motto, right, Dave? Too dark, too soon, too early. No, too dark, too soon, too bad, right? And so I tell my students and myself, you know, there's plenty of time to go darker, but once you go too dark, it really does ruin your day, you know? So always take your time. And, and always remember, here's a good thing to remember, the rounder the form, the closer the values are as it goes to light and dark, meaning it goes to light and dark a lot slower, and those values are super close to one another. And here we have a little bit of an orange color on her thumb. And let's see if we can describe this a little bit. A little more orangey, a little more of this scarlet color mixed with this natural. And JC says, too dark, too fast comes trouble. All have a tendency. Yeah, so true. And but I do that at times still. I go too dark too soon, and then I have to really rein myself in. It happens to the best of us and all of us. But it's because we're taught. We're taught in school. Make sure you get the contrast. Make sure you have photos that have good contrast. All that blah blah blah. But in reality, sometimes it's a little different. As we get more sophisticated, we start seeing that, most of those values are really close to one another. And also, it's pretty light, and you can always build your darks, right? And that's where the detail, the light, and the medium mixtures come in, with the India inks that I developed them for myself, and then started selling them, and I never had a return. I mean, it was always important, and eager to get done. Eager, yes, that's true. We want to get it done. We want to start on the next painting, but we can't, right? Dave says the problem with growing up in Vegas, too much too soon. Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Is that true, sir? Right here we have our knuckles. We're just going to indicate that. And then I'm going to go ahead and soften this with a light color in my airbrush here. Okay. Let's see what this does. See how it smooths out our hand here? But still do our 1 second rule. If you feel you might get spidering, increase your distance. Learning the airbrush is easy. It's all physics, it's all muscle memory. Once you get the hang of it, you stick with an airbrush, like mine, and it starts to feel like a glove, and something that's reliable, isn't going to cost you money when it breaks down, and that's important, and then you get that part down, you get the airbrush part down, great. Now you have to worry about, okay, how do I paint, form in three-dimensional space, right? That's the next thing. And let's see. Astral says, JC, he did used to make up a lot of Airfix model airplanes. His favorite was a Buccaneer airplane. He used to fly 10 feet off the floor, and they used to say it was a plane for pilots with vertigo. And Dave says, JC says includes all the money, and Dave says he made it out of Vegas, more like whatever happens in Vegas we hope stays in Vegas. Nowadays, right, everything comes out. And JC says, I didn't think you still sell the airbrushes. Oh, yes, definitely. Still on the website, JC. So anyone's ever interested, just let me know. I'll give you an ETA. Now, if you wanted the Extreme Patriot Arrow, I have 2 of them available. I am waiting for the parts on the 105. And you see how we kind of smooth out her hand there? I'm probably about 3 inches away on this little hand because I don't want spidering. But you can be 3 inches away and hit that little area once you get the hang of this. Michael says that's what he loves about paintbrush work. You can make it difficult, definitely quick, and do not have to change anything. Yes. Oh, definitely you can make different colors quick and do not have to change anything. Yes. And Dave says, well worth the price. If you don't have one. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Mr. Dave bought 2 of them from me, the Extreme Patriot Arrows. That's a great honor. And Mr. Michael McGlung purchased one from me. JC. Mr. Brad has several. It's so great, you know. I really appreciate that. And he pokes himself with the needle. Yes, look how far that comes out. That's the secret, you know. Aerodynamics, you know. JC blesses Airbrush. Okay, so you see how she's coming here with the hands. And let's see if I can kind of, oh, look at that. We were able to get some fingernails very lightly. Right here I'm going to soften this, compress this value here. So I'm going to increase my distance, and so that helps. When, like I said, when you're further along with the painting, you definitely can just wipe it if you get any kind of spidering, you know? That's the great thing about it. Okay. Alright, let's see. And now I'm going to put in my orange mixture. I want to do some highlights, especially on a zygomatic bone, maybe on the alar cartilage on her nose, that sort of thing. And nothing beats the airbrush when you want to have it nice and soft, you know. Michael says it's definitely a gun you don't have to worry about the needle sticking you. Oh, you have to worry about, definitely. Especially like me when you don't have the needle guard on. But we all know that that kind of takes away your detail. So I'm going to clean this out a little bit. Speaking tongues, Astral. And we are just cleaning out this brush. So I started doing what and it seems to be working out pretty well, and we'll see how long the experiment goes. So don't clean out the airbrush, just put water in it and leave it overnight, and it usually will work perfectly afterwards. So we'll try it for a while. So far so good, so that's good. So let's get our orange and white mixture. Look at this. This is from January 24th. Let's see if it's still good. I think we're definitely going to strain this. Definitely. Let's see. let's put this in a cup first. It's from January 24th, and it looks really good. And I'm just going to put that right in my airbrush. It's already mixed, so that's the only time you'll see me go straight in the airbrush. And it's a little thick, but I think we're going to be okay. Let's see. So we're going to zoom in on her face, and we're going to work on her zygomatic bone, and we'll see how that goes. See how we lighten up that zygomatic bone? She has these beautiful South American features here. Gotta love that. South American, yeah, I'm not gonna go into my past with Spanish women. No one needs to hear that. Let's see. And as you can see, we're just softening things up, you know. And Michael says, and it's easy gun to clean tip dry. Yeah, you know, just with your fingers, right? That's what I always do. I never really had a problem with tip dry because I was always, you know, picking at the needle. Terry Hill, I saw one of his videos on Airbrush Action, and he was like me, just picking at the needle all the time. And that's what I do. It's like a habit, you know. I miss Terry Hill. He was great. I never really got to know him. That's a bummer. I may have to go. See how the this color kind of softens things up. So this color lightens up things and keeps things really, really soft, and that's what I like about using the orange mixture. JC says he gets the feeling he understands his sense of humor. Yeah, we all understand your sense of humor, my friend. And Mr. Gregory says, oh, cool. And Michael says, good night all. He's just going to watch it on the big tube. Take care, Michael. Can't wait to watch Farrah Fawcett. I love what you're doing right now. Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate you. And thank you for your support, my friend. And always for the amazing super chats and the support and your friendship. And just love the work you're doing. And thanks for sharing that, Michael, honestly. So that's cool. I'm going to come in with this orange mixture and kind of soften her hand here. Two of the most important parts of the painting, right, are her hands and her face. So we got to make sure that we get it to the best of our ability. Okay. And where else can we lighten up a little bit? Let's try her sweater here. Just want to lighten up her sweater just a little bit. Give a little dimension. And let's put some lights on her leather jacket. Go. And top of the knee. Oh, interesting. So maybe a little bit of light on the top of her knee. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, I think you're right. That's very good, my friend. See, I listen to yous. There we go. Yeah, that's right. Gives a little bit of little three-dimensional. There we go. Very good, sir. And that is great. And shape and form, exactly, sir. Keeping these values close, and but you know, coming in and putting some dimension, putting some of these harsh highlights with the leather jacket, which really helps. And of course, we're always going to go back and forth, right? And let's put some dimension here. What's going on outside this window? Okay, let's see right over here. And I'm using this orange and white mixture. It just kind of lightens everything up, which is really great. And so okay, so we'll put this away and we'll come back in with our brush here. And with the wet palette, our colors are still wet, which is nice, hence the name. And let's see, come over here. I'm kind of putting in the zipper here. Let's see if we can do that over here. And as I said, this is, you know, just something that I'll be working on. This may be a small study for a much larger painting in the future. Very cool. And put some water here. And we'll bring this light here, this hard light coming down. And right here we have a secondary light, like the trim of the leather, right? We'll zoom in for you. See, we can do the trim of the leather here. Whoop, this is the dark. And here's the light color. Here this comes. Here we get that kind of leathery feel here. And that's it, you know, you want to build up this leather texture. It doesn't happen right away. You have to build it up. So I should be doing more of a dry brush where I'll get rid of the excess moisture and it won't sit on the surface like it is now. And we'll move this over here. And it's great because I can come in and do the light trim and then right afterwards come in with some of the darker trim. Get some nice contrast. And the dry brush works really well. And the trick, if there is a trick, and I'm not one for tricks, but is to just stick with it, you know, don't give up. You're going to get it. It's just a matter of when. So, you know, if, like I said, you stick with it, things will come together. They always do. And then we can work on her eyebrows here. See, you're just kind of moving around. And she does have substantial eyebrows, so we're not going to be chintzy. And her eyelashes. As you all probably know by now, JC, have a great night, my friend. Take care. Great to see you. Raul, where is Raul? He's a great guy. Did you see Raul? Raul, there you are. How's it going, my friend? Great to see you. Loving the artwork that you're doing, sir. I didn't see you come in. So that's cool. And Raul says, have I had the opportunity to get the 4021? It seems to really help with tip dry. It's interesting, you know. I think it's great. I hear great things about it. I never really had too much of a tip dry issue, but I know it's great for artists who, you know, struggle with that. So that's great. And you know, there's a lot of things I love about Createx, but they're always looking out for us artists, you know, and us airbrush artists, you know, and I think that's fantastic. Oh, great, painting along, that is fantastic. That's the best way to watch a live stream, right? Working on your own piece and, you know, watching the live stream, getting inspired. So I'm going to take some of this dark and I'm going to get this mass of dark right next to her face here. Kind of helps to contour, and so that's always good and so great. Dwayne says Createx kind of has to. We are their target market. True, but I remember Golden had their airbrush colors, and I was like on board with that. And then all of a sudden they dropped us. You know, they decided they weren't going to do airbrush colors anymore. They were going to do these high flow, and you know, it wasn't a big deal, but it was symbolically a bummer that they no longer worried about the airbrush artists, and I thought that stunk, you know. Uh, but one thing, Golden's a great company too. I mean, I think they have probably the best customer service next to Createx. They have good chemists and everything, but I think if you're going with Golden, you would want to use their paints, their oil paints. Williamsburg is incredible, and also I do love their heavy-bodied acrylics. You know, and they have all these different mediums and everything. So there's a lot to like about them, but they kind of got rid of us. You know, stopped thinking about, you know, having an airbrush paint line and then called it high flow. But Createx, they never left us. So that's good. So that makes me happy. And oh, Dwayne said never liked Golden. Createx was always about the airbrush crowd. I agree 100% about, you know, Createx being really loyal to us artists. Very true. So we are at the 11 o'clock hour, which is great. I'm having so much fun with everybody today. My color just got light. Okay. Let me remix that if it gets light. So let's see, you know, it looks like nothing is happening, but something is. But we're just going slow, and that's okay, you know. As long as we're going forward, it doesn't matter. Did Badger have their own airbrush paint? They do have their own airbrush paint. Uh, Roy uses them, Color Graphics. Uh, I think it's Spectrum is their brand, if I'm not mistaken. Very good. Very good stuff. And so that's really cool. I am going to look for some water because I'm dying of thirst, and I'll be right back, guys. Talks amongst yourselves. and I will be right back. Thank you, everybody. I think there's a, look at this, I think it says scene pores, space to set the scene on pores with a global hotkey. Are we still live? Let me see. I got my water, which is good. Ah, fantastic. Dave says he takes the pause in the pause. And Mr. Dwayne says he has some Badger paints. They work pretty good, but too rubbery for his likings. He don't know about the newer line, though. Oh, interesting. So we are back in business. And let's see. What can we work on? You know what? Let's do the highlight on the bottom lip. That might be fun. Let's see. So we'll zoom in up here. And on the bottom, actually, there's a wonderful dark on the bottom lip there. And I think we could do that with paintbrush techniques. Let's see. Let's see how this goes. Get my eyeglasses here. Astral says, Brad says we're good. Astral says, were they a bit like Createx? You can paint t-shirts with them. And Astral says, Tim, glad you're back. I was feeling quite abandoned. I won't abandon you, sir. That's for sure. Let's see. We just want to go, we want to darken this. We don't want to go crazy. Right on the lower. Definitely some dry brush technique here. And that's a little harsh. And it's a little darker on the corner of her mouth there. And it just comes up just a little bit. Start to get some of the prettiness. Wayne says he's not sure Astral. He never tried or read the complete details on them. Dwayne says he hadn't painted a t-shirt in 40 years. That's a while. Oh, so I have this color here. Start doing some of the darker areas of her ear. Come right over here. We have the tragus, the antitragus, and we have the helix, the antihelix. And of course, there's a little too much space on the anti-helix and the helix here on the back. So we'll sculpt this a little bit. So the great thing about, knowing anatomy is that it really keeps us from making mistakes. We can't just trust our observation only. And Mr. Dwayne says he would assume they worked on fabric like the regular Createx line. They are rubbery like them. Yeah, I don't know too much about. I haven't tried. I pretty much am going to stick with Createx for airbrush. I love I love Createx's Lifeline colors, as you all know. And I'm really enamored with their whole line of Wicked paints. And here I'm using the deep olive gold. You just have to be patient to keep working it, That's what we have to do, keep working it. Now sometimes I'll take a Q-tip and I'll show you guys what I do. Sometimes it works, not this time. So I'm going to take my orange mixture and we're going to soften this up. That looks terrible. That looks really terrible. So let's see, we're going to fix her, hopefully. There we go. Nothing we can't fix. This is a very small head. If I zoom out, you'll see just how small it is. Real tiny. So up close, what looks like, oh my goodness, is really not bad. Okay, so we have this really nice deeper color, and maybe we can start shaping this area here. Maybe come in with the natural, or maybe the blush. Let's see. Maybe the blush and natural. Okay, and let's go with the natural here. One a little deeper. Let's see what we get. So this zygomatic bone, as it comes into the maxilla there, we want to soften that up, but we want to make sure that we depict it well. We all got bones underneath. And then we'll come in and define it a little bit better. I'm going to come in with the light olive color, so I'm going to get rid of the paint in this airbrush. Let's see here. And okay, so I wanted to come in with not the olive, but maybe not the light olive. Let's see what we got here. We have light olive gold. Let's try light olive gold. Put a little bit of that. So when I put this from Createx, you know, out of here, what I'll do is I'll take the light olive gold and I'll do this with water 1:1. It's just, there's no reason for it. It's just, you know, as I work, it just seems to be the most effective. And that's basically what I do, you know. The 4011 works really well with it, but I think it's, you know, they both work fine. So now we have a nice, it's still thick enough so we're going to get some nice coverage. And it's nice and dark. But with the airbrush, we can go super light with this. And let's see what happens, right? Let's Let's go for it. Okay. Now, sometimes, you might find that, your trigger is sticky. A lot of times the paint is actually uh, dry here. And I just loosen the chucking nut and then just twirl the needle and then just tighten it, and that resolves it. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if we could just kind of bring some color to her face here, and then we'll come back and lighten it up. Just kind of come back and forth. Okay. And now what I'll do is I'll take my other airbrush and I'm going to put the I think I'm going to put the natural in there. So let's see how that goes. Because I want to have some life in her face, and it just isn't effective when doing portraits, especially something small. The airbrush works so much better. I'm really thankful for everyone to come out and hang out with me in my live stream. Thank you so much, everybody. Means the world to me. And an extreme thank you to Mr. Dave and Dwayne and Mr. Brad and Michael for those super chats. They were just amazing. Brad, Dwayne, Dave, Michael, Gary, thank you guys. Just wonderful. Big honor for me. Thank you. So I parked the airbrush with water, doing it the new technique. And so far the airbrushes seem to be working well. So I'm happy, So have you all tried that, where instead of like totally washing it out, spraying out the color that's in there, and then putting water in overnight, spraying some water through the airbrush, leave water in, and so the whole theory is that nothing can dry in your airbrush because it stays, moist in there. Has anyone tried? That's Drew Blair's technique, and you gotta trust his experience. Oh, nice. See how I'm able to soften it up coming in with the natural color? And, going with, so this is the interesting thing about the Lifeline colors. You don't have to worry about blue shifts. I'm coming in with a lighter color over the darker color, and you know what it's like? And it really is like makeup, and that's what's really cool. And Dave says, thank you, Tim. Oh, thank you, my friend. Brad says she's looking great. Thank you for another great feed. Thank you, sir. And let's see. So thank you, Dave. And Astral says he has been doing that for up to 40 years. Very cool. And any paint left in oh, you have. Any paint inside gets dissolved. Great, Astral. Thank you. I've been washing it out. Okay, look how beautiful this is coming out, guys. So you're seeing with me how great it is to work with the Lifeline colors. See how I can just lightly go over it and kind of assimilate those values? But at least she has more life to her, right? Really loving that. And Greg says, yes, 1 drop of water for every 30 minutes away from the brush. Oh, great. Thank you for that. That's great, Dave. I love that. So that's fantastic. Yeah, I'm going to try it until I can't, right? Or I'm going to do it forever if it works. I'm going to lighten this part of her neck. Very nice. Loving that. Okay. We have her nose. And of course her orbicularis oris. And we have the light coming down from a depressor anguli oris. Right there. There we go. And so I'm really digging that. I'm liking it. Let's see. Dwayne says he cleans his out after use and rarely leave the paint in for very long. Okay, that's great. And Bobby says he's still here, just lurking and working on a line drawing for us. That's great. I love that you're working on a line drawing, my friend. And so Dwayne does a different method and it works for him. That's great. Astral says, you can have my airbrush when you pry it from his cold dead hand. You guys are funny. But I love the way the face came out. And if we zoom out, you can see she has a nice life to her. And I like that. And I could, you know, compress those values a little bit. But I do like what I'm seeing right now. It's lighter here, right along her jawline. So I'm just going to lighten that up, just like so. Ah, well, thank you there, Bobby. I appreciate that. So we're at 11:30. Thank you guys for hanging out. I really appreciate you. Thank you for the super chats, my friend. And I just want to say I really appreciate everybody. I hope you have a great week. Stay healthy. God bless you. And keep those airbrushes and compressors going. So that would be great. Take care, guys, and really think you're amazing. Bye.